Tonight on NewsWatch.
Green Shirt Day, promoting the importance of organ donations.
It's amazing what difference a donor can make in the lives of people who are in need.
How the Oilers missing the playoffs is affecting local businesses.
It's disappointing. Each year you put a product on the ice, and we're paying a lot of money. And to be honest with you, and really considering not renewing my season tickets.
And why this local woman is hiding houses around our city.
The first ferry duty, I guess you could call it, was September 30th.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. This weekend marks a somber anniversary, 1 year since the Humboldt bus crash. Out of the tragedy has come awareness for the importance of organ donors.
This Sunday is Green Shirt Day. It's a day to honor a player who lost his life, but helped others by signing his donor card. The goal of Green Shirt Day, get people to sign their donor cards. Evan Kenny joins us live from our news center with more on that story.
Thanks, Hunter. Thanks, Glenn. 29 passengers were on the Humboldt bus last year. 16 were killed. One of them, young men, a 20-year-old from Lethbridge, donated his organs. Because of this, he saved 6 lives and has changed lives for others around the world. Logan Boulay, a son, a brother, a friend, a teammate, and now he's being called a hero. On April 7th, one day after the Humboldt bus crash, Boulay died in hospital. Boulay, just 20 years old, was a registered organ donor. Because of this, he saved the lives of 6 people.
So 2 kidneys, a liver, lungs, heart. It's amazing what difference a donor can make in the lives of people who are in need.
Boulay's selfless act was felt across the country. In the days and weeks after the accident, over 100,000 people signed an organ donor card, the largest amount of donors to sign up in Canadian history, all because of one person. This is known as the Logan Boulay effect. Something that impacted a young hockey team in Sherwood Park.
We've got several players that played with a lot of the players that were affected in the crash, and a lot of them that didn't make it. You can see the pain in their eyes when they talk about their former teammates, friends, and high school buddies, and it's difficult. It's been a big effect.
While thousands have signed, only 23% of all Canadians are actually registered donors. Green Shirt Day, a day of awareness, one that officials hope will educate more people on the importance of a single signature.
The Logan Boulay effect, getting more people signing up, is really important from a public education and just normalizing these things. But that in itself just sort of primes the system, and then it's our job to make sure we're doing as good a job as possible to get the rest of the system working to the benefit of Albertans who need organs.
The international community has come together using the hashtag Logan Boulay effect and hashtag Green Shirt Day, as well as hashtag Be Inspired.
Evan, why is signing to be an organ donor so important?
Well, Glenn, 250 people die waiting for organ transplants. Now, while more people are signing up to be organ donors, this trend needs to continue. In places such as Nova Scotia, they implemented something where now you opt out of being an organ donor rather than opting in. New Brunswick is looking to follow their lead.
What else is happening to remember Logan?
Well, a local rink in Lethbridge was renamed after Boulay. As well, different events are happening around Edmonton on Sunday.
Thanks, Evan. That's Evan Kenny reporting live from our news center tonight. We want to know what you think about Green Shirt Day.
In partnership with our sister campus publication, The Nate Nugget, we will be polling viewers and readers on our question of the week. This week's poll question is, have you signed your donor card this Green Shirt Day? Just go on the Nate NewsWatch or the Nate Nugget Facebook pages and check off the answer you agree with the most.
You're watching Nate NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
It's another year fans are disappointed as hockey playoffs kick off.
Indeed, with the Edmonton Oilers missing the playoffs this season, it's leaving nearby businesses and fans wondering what's going to happen in their future. Our reporter Christine O'Loughlin has more.
Thanks, Glenn. Unfortunately, the Oilers have missed the playoffs again this year, which no one is excited about. But for some fans, this all too familiar feeling has more of an effect on them. Superfans come in many different kinds, and when it comes to hockey, it seems the Oilers have had the best fan base, given its recent years. It's been almost 2 decades since Edmonton has celebrated a Stanley Cup, leaving an empty feeling or space with some fans.
To be honest with you, it's starting to get frustrating. I spend a lot of money on season tickets every year. To go for the hype at the beginning, just to be let down halfway through the year and be missing the playoffs year after year, it's quite disappointing. The cost for what we see on the ice, it's just not worth it anymore.
Others seeing and feeling the same unfortunate pattern are local businesses in the area.
It affects some more than others, and some businesses more than others, but definitely the restaurant, bar industry is affected quite a bit.
With the season coming to an end, Smith says they won't be getting the same amount of foot traffic, which is unfortunate as it triples the amount of sales for them. The one thing that they're going to miss the most about missing playoffs is the city morale.
You know, a couple years ago, the city with the arena here, the downtown was so lively. People, you know, are out on the streets high-fiving again, and it just changes the overall feel of the city.
Although the Oilers are out of the playoffs, you can still catch the Oil Kings going into the second round against the Calgary Hitmen. The Battle of Alberta begins on Saturday, and for Oilers fans, I guess there's always next year. For Nate NewsWatch, I'm Christina Lachlan.
The old Strathcona Hotel will live on after a fire in the historic building broke out last week. Construction workers were seen this week going in and out of the building, continuing renovation work on the hotel built in 1891. Last Friday, 40 firefighters worked to extinguish a fire that broke out in the attic. Signs of the fire are still visible from the outside. For neighboring businesses, it was a scary scene.
There's a lot of history with the Strathcona Hotel and its iconic architecture on White Avenue here, so all kinds of reasons to have been nervous Friday night.
Fire investigators say the cause of the fire was an electrical grinder igniting insulation in the attic. The new owner of the building, Belgen Development, says they plan to continue with restoring the hotel.
Military vehicles are on the move this week. During the week, hundreds of military vehicles made their way from the Edmonton Garrison down to Wainwright. The vehicles are taking the Yellowhead to Highway 36, then to Highway 14 to their destination. Drivers can expect to see the greatest volume of vehicles from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Friday is the last day they'll be on the road.
A few Edmonton neighborhoods are working with the city to test a new way of managing waste. 13 neighborhoods in Edmonton have been selected to take part in the Edmonton Cart rollout. Homeowners are receiving a green cart for organics, a black cart for trash, a blue bag for recycling, and a paper bag for seasonal yard waste.
We want to work with the homes, we want to help, we want to work with the participants to understand their challenges so that we can improve on the system for a potential future rollout. With the results we gather from this cart rollout and with the feedback of the residents, we'll be able to shape the future.
All 8,000 participants will have their new carts by April 15th. This program also comes with no extra fees because these services are already covered in our utilities budget.
Edmonton police have been giving out several tickets to people on the sidewalks. Within the past 4 years, Edmonton police have handed out over 1,600 tickets to cyclists biking on the sidewalk. The law is you must be biking in the bike lanes or on the road to the side. However, some bikers feel until more bike lanes are built, they should be given a warning before a ticket.
Ticketing is probably not the best route to go. Hitting everyone with a flat fine that's also not based on income is probably not the best way to go, since a lot of people, especially in this area, who'd be getting those fines probably wouldn't have a lot of money to pay for those.
The cost of each ticket for biking on the sidewalk is $100.
A local woman has a unique hobby. She places little houses and doors around Edmonton. Jeanette Spencer is a local artist and has revealed herself as the person secretly creating tiny homes that are styled like gnomes. Doorways and props around Edmonton. She has been doing it for the past year and a half. She calls them YEG Fairy Garden.
I had decided to put some doors down in the river valley, and I thought it would be fun to just stay anonymous. I didn't want to do any letters, or if I'm doing something more detailed or whatever, it would probably take me about 3 hours sometimes. I do a lot of scrolling in them, and so that takes a little bit of time. I usually just spray paint.
Spencer plans to continue placing her enchanting artwork around the city. To see more of these hidden doorways, you can find photos on her Instagram account at YEG Fairy Garden.
The man behind Edmonton's superhero, Spider Mabel, shared a lesson in the importance of superhero stories and social media today.
And her one wish was to fight crime with Spider-Man for a day.
Maddie Flores went over the origin story of Spider Mabel, a 6-year-old cancer survivor and Spider-Man fan who got the entire world's attention through social media. He talks about how superhero stories drive people's attention today and how you can get a story told around the world using a simple hashtag on Twitter.
Like in my presentation of Spider-Man, if we look at it as everything as like a web, we're all connected. And finding those connections is so important in giving meaning to what we do every day.
Flores said that we should be sharing important stories through social media so that it can get the entire world's attention just like it did for Spider Mabel. Coming up after the break, it's that time of year again, allergy season.
What students can do to battle the symptoms and stay healthy.
People can do the vacuuming, they can do the dusting, they can keep, residence rooms clean, things like that.
I'm at the downtown community arena where the Edmonton Oil Kings just behind me are gearing up for round 2 of their playoff run. Speaking about hockey, this past weekend was the Matt Cook Memorial Tournament down in Leduc. I'll have more on that story and others coming up in sports.
Coming up after the break, even though it still feels like winter's in the air, no worries, because we're going to be seeing some sunnier days this weekend.
So, the UK has just instituted the toughest ban on ivory trade Europe has ever seen. Put this inside a button push.
It's 1:59. My ears are bleeding. Underwear required over 40 stitches to her face. Good afternoon, it's 2 o'clock. I'm Jenna Winterburn with your NR92 News Update. You're listening to NR92.
Well, Hunter, the sun is coming out, my mood is improving, and I'm ready to have the best summer ever.
I actually really like this past winter, but I am looking forward to the summer. Let's see whether or not the weather will be good this week. What do you got for us, Dallas?
Thanks, Hunter. Thanks, Glenn. Well, things are starting to warm up. As you can see, Calgary has a low of +1 and a high of +13. That is beautiful. Everyone should start getting those barbecue shoes out and start flipping those burgers. Anyway, let's move over to Jasper. As you can see, Jasper ain't doing too bad either. We have a low of +1 with a high of +11. That is just beautiful. And there is a chance of cloud, but don't let that deter you from going outside and enjoying what nature has to offer. Now, moving over to Fort McMurray, unfortunately, Fort McMurray is having the worst of it. It has a low of +1, as usual, and a high of +5. Plus, there is also the chance of rain or snow. So if you are planning to go outside, make sure you bundle up, because it might be a bit chilly. Anyway, let's move on to our city of Edmonton. As you can see, Edmonton has a low of +0 with a high of +9. And there are a 60% chance of showers this weekend. But if you're someone who's not satisfied with the +9, don't worry, because it's going to get even warmer throughout the week. Now, moving on to those averages, we have a low of -2 and a high of +10 this weekend. And looking at the records, all the way back in 1948, we had the low of -24. Geez, that's cold. And looking back at 1889, we had a high of plus 22. Anyway, that's all we got in weather for you guys today. Back to you, Hunter and Glenn.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Thanks, Dallas. Spring is in the air, and with that, it comes a welcome break from the snow.
Hooray! But unfortunately, the melting snow also means an influx of allergies. Our reporter Jeremy Kovalcheski has more.
Dust, pollen, and snow mold. If you are allergic, you know the devastating impact these particles possess. If you aren't, welcome to allergy season. This time of year leads to all sorts of allergies, which affects students in different ways.
What's silly is I always think that it's some kind of head cold, and then I'm like, nope, it's nice out, it's for sure these allergies. I have never been actually tested to see what I'm allergic to. I kind of just go for the over-the-counter drugs or medications and cross my fingers, hope they help. Claritin, Reactin, I've tried everything.
However, local pharmacist and respiratory instructor Pamela Vold has found that instead of the old guess and test, perhaps a different method should be taken.
So everyone should have a personal relationship with their pharmacist. That way they know what your other medications are, other conditions you might have. So if you're coming into us and you have allergy symptoms, you're not sure what to take, we can make some recommendations either before allergy season for prevention or once you already have the symptoms.
Both LaVold and NAIT Health Services Supervisor Christine Bannerman are recommending another allergy prevention tool.
At home, people can do the vacuuming, they can do the dusting, they can keep, residence rooms clean, things like that.
You can take the fight against allergies in your own hands. However, if the effects are proving too strong for you, you should visit your local pharmacy. They can help out in a number of different ways. For NAIT NewsWatch, I'm Jeremy Kovalcheski.
Well, Glenn, both the Ooks hockey teams are done for this year, and the Oilers season is wrapping up. We'll only have the Oil Kings to satisfy our playoff hockey crave.
The Oil Kings have been playing extremely well lately, so to just call it playoff hockey would be a bit of an understatement. Round 2 looks to be an electric one as two powerhouse franchises get set to do battle. Right, Teagues?
That's right, guys, an itch that many local hockey fans need to be scratched. Thanks to the Oil Kings, playoff hockey lives on in Rogers Place this weekend. It's the WHL's version of the Battle of Alberta as the Kings face the Hitmen. After surviving a tough first round against the Medicine Hat Tigers, the Oil Kings are gearing up for round 2 against the Calgary Hitmen. The Kings come into this series with a better regular season record that saw them reach 92 points over Calgary's 78, giving Edmonton home ice advantage heading into this matchup. The Oil Kings are looking to relive the success they had at the end of the regular season.
Calgary's a different team than Med Hat. They like to play a more physical, heavier game, but I don't think we need to change anything. We just need to keep playing how we've played all year, and especially down the last stretch, and go from there.
Game 1 goes tomorrow at Rogers Place. Puck drop at 7. It's been dubbed the Battle of the Suburbs, the Park versus the Grove, in the North Final of the AJHL. The Sherwood Park Crusaders are up 2-1 over the Spruce Grove Saints. Going into Game 4 in the Grove, both teams have capitalized on the home ice advantage. So could there be a home away from home victory in the cards? Let's get to the action. In the first period, Saints in Blue would open up the scoring as Stony Plain alumni Ryan Peckford comes streaking in near boards, dishes the puck off to Nick Lear, who redirects the puck to an open Todd Lloyd. Lloyd doesn't hesitate and fires one past Matt Berlin. 1-0 Spruce. Jumping to the second frame now, Saints feeling pressured on a 2-on-1. Cole Bassett takes 2 shots, both stopped. He goes digging for the puck, finds it, and backhands it in. But hold on now, the ref waves it off. After a brief conference, the Stripes hold true to their initial call of it not being a goal, keeping the contest at 1-0 for now. 3 minutes later, Sherwood Park taking an offensive draw. The puck was up for grabs and fired on net. A blink and you missed it goal cashed in by Cameron Uckcoin, tying it up at 1 apiece. Shortly after that, Ryan Peckford picks up the loose puck, deking out the defender, shoots, saved, rebound, buried, making it look easy and pretty. Peckford gets his squad back on top, regaining their 1-goal lead. The Saints, keeping with the momentum, would get 2 more markers. If that Selly doesn't get the point across, Spruce Grove was definitely filling themselves as they confidently handled the Crusaders 4-1. Ryan Peckford was all over the score sheet, gathering 1 goal and 2 assists in the contest as they knot up the series at 2.
We definitely started to click here in the playoffs. I think we're starting to figure out where we like to be in certain spots, so it's going good, and I think we're just going to keep building on it.
Hockey is a tight-knit community, one that rallies around each other during difficult times. It was 8 years ago when a young Junior A hockey player lost his life to cancer, and today his friends and family still skate in his memory. The Matt Cook Memorial Tournament took place over this past weekend at the Leduc Recreation Center. The tournament saw athletes competing in the sledge hockey tournament. Matt Cook was diagnosed with a rare bone cancer when he was just 18 years old. His experience playing hockey and the unique challenges he went through as a young adult fighting cancer inspired the foundation that bears his name. The Matt Cook Foundation was created in his honor after he passed away in April 2010. He was 22 when he passed away.
This is an important tournament because it signals, of course, the end of the sledge hockey tournament. But it's a chance. A lot of times communities may only have enough players for one team. And so an opportunity for them to all gather at the end of the year, have some competition against other teams in their division.
A 24-hour charity game is also taking place this evening at the Canadian Athletic Club. Donations raised from the event go to the Matt Cook Foundation. A football league in Edmonton is trying to get in touch with more female players. The Edmonton Touch Football Association held a touch football clinic this past Sunday for women above the age of 16. The women's league is comprised of 4 teams. At the clinic, they learned all of the basics of touch football, from how to throw and receive the ball to how to play defense. The aim of the clinic is to try to get more women involved in the sport. Women do not need any prior experience to join in.
I know there's some women that play on certain teams and they didn't necessarily know anybody before they started playing, but they've made a lot of really good friendships since they have. It's something that you can do that's active, but have fun at the same time and maybe make some new friends.
Preseason starts in May, with the regular season kicking off in July. All games are played at the Ellerslie Rugby Park. Boxing. It looks easy on TV. During the sport's climax, the fighting style made many of its competitors sports icons throughout the decades. I headed to Marshall Boxing Club to learn the ins and outs, the jabs and hooks, and how the sport is played in this week's End Zone Challenge.
Keep circling. Let's go. There you go. Ugh.
Hey, I'm at Marshall Boxing alongside assistant boxing coach Jacob Roy. He's going to teach me boxing today.
Yeah, we're going to teach you the fine footwork and how to punch, and probably at the end of the day, we'll teach you how to hit someone.
We warmed up by focusing on our footwork and cardio. That combination is a major part of boxing. The goal is to be as light as a feather in the ring. Jacob showed me the best stance to maintain the proper balance by having my feet staggered and a certain length apart. After we established the proper movement, Jacob had me throwing some jabs and crosses.
Always set up with the jab first and then right power hand right to his face. You feel comfortable?
Yeah, the hardest part for me, I think, is to keep my hands up above my head.
That's right. If you don't keep your hands up, you're going to get hit really hard and it's going to hurt.
I laced up, velcroed my gloves and started pounding the pads.
Now throw the jab. Good. Again. Again. Now cross. Good. One more. That's it.
After an hour of learning how to box, I started feeling a little cocky. That Ali swagger, however, was short-lived as I was tossed right into the fire. I was put up against one of the most experienced fighters in the gym, and well, my inexperience really showed.
Good work, man. Okay, time. Always keep her. Hey, it's all right. It's tiring, I know, eh?
What the heck?
So,
overall, I'd give my first crack at boxing 8 headaches out of 10. All right, so how did I do today, Jacob?
not bad. Few things to work on. Other than that, that's perfect.
All right, awesome. Thank you for showing me the ropes today.
You're welcome.
This has been your edition of this week's End Zone Challenge. We'll catch you next time.
Wow, Tegan, that looked like quite a workout. All those punches must have been exhausting.
Yeah, I wish you were there to stick up to bullies that picked on me in junior high.
Absolutely. Those bullies you guys just mentioned there would not be as much as a challenge as it was there. I couldn't tell you guys which was harder though. Getting hit so many times or the cardio exercise they had me warm up to.
Sounds tough. Thank you, Tegan.
Thanks.
Coming up after the break, we do some volunteering at the Mustard Seed.
A charity dedicated to helping those who are homeless.
In Edmonton, 35 years we've been around. We also have a base in Calgary, is where we started.
Coming up after the break, local bartenders shake up the competition with their riff on a classic drink. All that and more coming up in entertainment. This is shaken, not stirred, right?
New Music Nooner. Discover new and local artists every week.
Every weekday at noon, we feature a new artist or band and play their latest work.
Only on nr92.com.
The station for the students.
Are you looking for ways to get involved with the community?
Well, the Mustard Seed may be the place for you. Yep. Nope. The Mustard Seed is a local charity that has been helping fight homelessness for over 30 years. It started as a coffee bar in Calgary and has grown into something of immense value in Edmonton's community. With hundreds of volunteers, there are many different ways people can get involved.
Volunteering, you can go volunteering at theseed.ca. You can also help us financially with doing monthly donations or even dropping off donations to each one of our centers. We have a food piece of it. We also have clothing and hygiene items. So that stuff can get dropped off and we'll try and disperse that to the people in need.
The Mustard Seed has locations in Edmonton, Calgary, and Red Deer. If you would like to get involved, go to theseed.ca.
You know, Hunter, I spent most of this week working, but I hear there's a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I spend most of my week doing the same thing every single week, so I'm not the best person to go for entertainment, but Emily Olson is. What do you got for us?
Thanks, Hunter. Thanks, Glenn. Well, I've heard of an unveiling, but I've never seen it taken quite as literally as it was at the Edmonton Motor Show this week.
The all-new 2020 Sierra Heavy Duty AT4.
New models are being shown off at the largest motor show in Western Canada, which is back again for its 42nd year at Northlands Expo Centre. However, none as exciting as the debut of the Felino CB7R, a Canadian-made sports car which is one of only 10 in the world and the third ever made in Canada.
The CB7R is making its Alberta debut with us, so no one will have had a chance to see this yet. So we're really excited for everyone to come down over the 4 days and take this vehicle in.
The motor show runs from now until Sunday. In the midst of chilly spring temperatures, I was transported to a lush tropical garden in preparation of the 42nd annual Orchid Fair.
Quite pretty. Look at that.
This is Paul Paladette. He competes every year at the Enjoy Center with his beautiful blooms. As a winner of over 7 awards, Paladette knows the judges are primarily looking for bright colors and multiple blooms, but it's the community that brings him back each year.
You know, it's an opportunity to meet different people from different walks of life, to help them understand and appreciate orchids and the variety, the immense variety that there is with orchids. We're talking 30,000 species of orchids worldwide.
Gorgeous blooms from 15 exhibitors from all over the world are on display until Sunday. Picture this, 2 shows running at the same time. No, I mean seriously running. This play has actors running from stage to stage at the Citadel. The Candidate and The Party are sure to keep you on your toes.
How would you like to make history? Take a picture.
These 2 simultaneous shows, The Candidate and The Party, follow the mishaps of a politician preparing for presidential election. The plays have actors racing from one set to another to keep audiences engaged in 2 separate locations. They're sure to keep you on your toes and the cast on theirs.
I will finish one scene in The Party and I'll have to sprint to The Candidate, and while I'm standing behind the door saying my first line, someone is putting a hoodie on me. While I take a sip of water, I grab my phone and I'm saying my first line and I enter onto the stage.
The Candidate and The Party are two shows not to be missed this April. Martini Monday may not be a thing, but this past Monday, bartenders from Edmonton Hotspots shook and stirred their way through a competition to test their twists and riffs on a classic beverage. 11 bartenders from restaurants like Ampersand 27, The Mark, and more put their own spin on the classic dry martini, while guests sampled gin and vermouth from local suppliers. Judges tasted basil, spruce, and even cilantro martinis to decide who would win the grand prize from Strathcona Spirits, and more importantly, bragging rights. Corbin Brock from Wilfred's had a winner with his lush spring-inspired cocktail.
I'm going to be making a martini riff using the Strathcona Spirits gin. It's going to have a little bit of cilantro infusion as well with salt and 2 types of vermouth. It's going to be really kind of botanical.
Strathcona Spirits has locations all around Alberta and is available for tours and tastings. Well, that's about it for entertainment this week. There's clearly no shortage of things to do this weekend. And that's been a wrap on entertainment. Back to you, Hunter and Glenn.
Emily, thank you so much, and that's all we've got for today in Nate Newswatch.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you all again next week.